Hey, what's going on, guys? Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to let you know, if you didn't know already, I do stream on Twitch a couple days a week, usually 1 to 2 days. It's not a set schedule at the moment because of the coronavirus craziness. My work schedule is a little crazy, and so is the stream schedule, but I do try to stream 1 or 2 days a week. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight, and if you want to see me, give tips and stuff like I do in my videos, and set out for assault like I do in some of my other videos, feel free to stop by. It's twitch.tv/spookandjukes. Anyways, getting into today's video, I am doing a video on what I think is the best killer build for beginners. So this is for people who are just getting the game, they haven't bought any DLC, they want to know what perks to use and what killer to use, more importantly. And I'm going to kind of give my opinion on which killer I think gives you the best grasp and understanding of how to play killer, and which perks can help you best along with that killer. So let's jump right in. So first of all, when you get Dead by Daylight, you get 5 free killers. You get the Trapper, you get the Wraith, the Hillbilly, the Nurse, and the Huntress. Those are all the ones that are free on all platforms, I believe. The rest are all DLC. But the one that I would recommend is the Wraith, for sure. And there's a lot of good reasons that he's the best to start out with, and we'll get into that. The biggest thing that makes the Wraith stand out above all these other killers is the fact that he can completely go into stealth mode and cloak himself and suppress his terror radius, so survivors have no idea when you're coming. Your footsteps do make a little bit of noise and you can see the outline when you start to get close, but if you're standing still they can't see you, and you can get pretty close before anybody has an idea you're there. And a lot of times if you sneak up to walls that they're right behind, they'll have no idea that you're there, and you get to get that early first hit on them. Before we get too into the tactics of playing the Wraith and the best way to do so, I'm going to go over the perks. And the first 3 here are the ones that all synergize the best. You have Sloppy Butcher, which doesn't belong to any killer, so you can get this perk right off the bat just by upgrading the Wraith. You won't have to upgrade other killers first. The other 2, Thanatophobia and Nurse's Calling. These are both Nurse perks. So all you have to do is rank the Nurse up to level like 40, I believe, and then you can get both of these perks and then just unlock them on the Wraith. The synergy that these 3 perks have is absolutely amazing. Sloppy Butcher makes it so that they take a lot more time healing. Thanatophobia makes it so the more people you have injured, the longer it takes for them to do their objective, which is huge. And then you have Nurse's Calling, so if people are healing, you can sneak up on them and they won't know you're coming because as the Wraith you are suppressed. So the last perk that I have is Brutal Strength, and Brutal Strength allows you to break pallets and generators 20% faster, and the new breakable walls that are only currently on the new map. But those will be coming out on more maps soon, so that's going to be helpful for closing the gaps with the breakable walls. So it just lets you get that faster, because ending chases quicker is the goal with killer, and breaking pallets faster helps you do that. When it comes to your tactics playing the Wraith with this build, what you want to avoid the most is zoning in just on one survivor and just chasing that survivor for 2 to 3 minutes plus. You definitely don't want to do that. That's the biggest mistake you can make as a killer, is focusing too much on one survivor. I talk about that in my top 5 killer tips. I might go over a couple of those while I'm discussing this. But the best with this is to injure as many survivors as possible. That's another one of my tips. So the idea is to make the survivors feel like they're on edge. If they're injured and they don't know when you're coming, they're going to be really scared all the time, and when they do heal and you're close enough, you're going to be able to see them with Nurse's Calling. Nurse's Calling is absolutely amazing on the Wraith. You could sneak up on survivors, catch them off guard. It's really, really, really good. Sometimes it can be hard to sneak up on survivors if there's too much openness, like where she sees me here. But then instead of following her here, I go ahead and try to catch her off guard here. And I use a line of sight blocker, as you'll see here. So she thinks I'm still coming around that way. I use this to block. Nurse's Calling shows me that she's not moving, and there we go. Brutal Strength also has some other uses aside from just using it in one chase with one survivor. So what you can do is you can injure somebody, and then when they put the pallet down, instead of chasing them, you can just go ahead and break the pallet, and then you can leave them. Then you can break the generator, find a new survivor. That way that survivor's on edge, and you can go sneak up on somebody else. So again, the idea with the Wraith is to sneak up survivors while they're caught off guard, injure them, and injure as many of them as possible before committing to one. So that way, they're constantly on edge, they're constantly having to heal themselves, as opposed to doing generators. You're going to slow the game down a ton, and you're going to actually strike fear into the survivors, which can be difficult to do as killers sometimes. But playing as a stealth killer in this way, a hit and run, makes it so unpredictable and makes it actually nerve-wracking for the survivors, and they're much more scared to do objectives and to, you know, be super cocky and boosted, which is always nice. So I'm not going to go over all the Wraith's add-ons or anything in this video. I'm just going to say that the best ones to use are the speed add-ons and the add-ons that make his bell either completely silent, or this one, which makes it to where they can't tell where it's coming from, so it always sounds like it's sort of distant even if you're really close. And these are a yellow add-on. You can see I have 26 of these. You can get them very easily. So I usually use these, and then you can get a purple windstorm as well, which makes you go super fast. But this one works really well too. Any sort of speed bonus, so you can, you know, traverse the map quicker, is definitely nice. So I would pair a speed and a bell nulling add-ons together for sure. But yeah, if you're new to Dead by Daylight or just new to playing killer, if you're a survivor main, want to kind of ease into playing killer, this is definitely the most friendly way to do so. You're going to be able to learn a lot, and I think it's going to be super useful, and I hope that you agree. Let me know if you tried it out and if it works for you, or if maybe there's another killer and other perks that you think would work better or just as good. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.